if it turns out that you guys have other options for staying cool, let me know. I mean, there are other things like Peltier coolers that are coming out where people wear fans on their back. It's electronic, electrothermic, ceramic, which basically is cold on one side and hot on the other. I don't really feel like I'm going to plug in or put a battery on or something like that, especially out there for days and days, a month. So you got to be careful with that. And there's, people with fans. They're putting fans in their sleeves and stuff. So if you can think of anything else that's cool, that's not just I go put something in the freezer and make an ice pack, because I can't do that either. So these are the best options I've had, and kept my body 20 degrees off. So please let me know if you've got any other ideas. I did forget to add something earlier that I'm doing. I get a mesh bag, and so these are cloths that I use to wash the bike with. And so I do carry some dry Chemical Brothers car wash stuff in there, so I can wash the bike off without water, or we can pull into a garage or whatever. But when the towels are wet, I have a mesh bag, you put your towels in it, and that way when you're riding, it dries them off. And then one other thing that I've added, because when we go up peaks, every once in a while, the oxygen's pretty thin. So I'm adding a booster. Sometimes we've ended up having to get IVs for altitude sickness and stuff like that when we're there for a long time. So I'm going to put a booster in there and give one to my buddies so that we at least have some oxygen in case we're up too high. And then I have all those other items in this bag. So this is how light the bag is when everything is dry. When you get the things wet, then it takes up a lot of space, but you'll be wearing it when it's wet. So that's where we're at now with these items. So now that is mostly packed except for the electronics that I'm going to carry in there. So a camera and an iPad or something like that. Right here on the back seat, when my wife is not riding, we're going to go out on a trip. She's going to fly out and then ride around with me for a week. But before I get to Idaho, I'm going to have a pack on the back here. So since I'm leaving from Atlanta, it's going to take like 12 days, and I will have enough clothes in there to wash once a week. So I'll talk about that because I'll also bring quarters, and I will also bring wash little tablets and stuff so that I can wash in case I don't have anything there. Sometimes Airbnbs will have it, but some of the hotels don't sometimes, and you got to pay for it, or it's $10 or who knows. But we also stop at car washes, so I need quarters for that, because if you use a credit card, they rip you off. Anyway, so I have a bag that goes here, and I'll show you because it's a little bit unique, and again, something that's discontinued, so you have to hunt it down on eBay, but it's called the Biker's Friend bag. On the front of the bike, I'm gonna have this tank bag, and the primary purpose of the tank bag is to have a water pack inside. So I have a gel, which again, surprisingly, Walmart's the easiest place to get this thing, but it's actually a gel water bag. And so that way it can be cold. You can put it in the fridge, and at least once water's in it, it stays cold most of the day while you're drinking it. But it's about 2 liters. So by the time you're done drinking, it's time to fill it up again. So it'll be cold water again. But I keep a chili pad in there. It keeps things dry, absorbs stuff. And then just in case I need a cloth, I can get this wet. And then I have a cloth to wipe something down. But this is one of those chili pads for cooling that I was talking about. I just use it as a liner. It dries, and then it makes it hard while it's in there. But my tank bag will be strapped to the bike, and then this will just stay in there as a liner. And then occasionally, just for an emergency, I keep some 5-hour Energies. I don't like to drink them, but if you're riding a long way and it's really exhausting, sometimes you need it. So basically, that's what I'm going to keep in there, and then some pistachios. So I'll get protein, and then a map or something right here. And then underneath the magnets here, I'll keep like a cloth, like wipe my face off or blow my nose or whatever I need. So basically that's what that will do, is sit right there. And I started doing this because I also have a BMW GS off-road, and it has a tank bag on it. And I got really accustomed to having that tank bag. And so when I came to the Indian, I like to have it on there, but I have a much bigger one on my BMW. So again, preparing for stuff. This is, again, cooling stuff, but I have a big bag, and I keep all the stuff in there, and I really like the size of that bag there for putting maps and stuff in, but they really didn't have much of that for a Harley or an Indian or something. These are cooling gel packs, similar to the other ones I was talking about before. This is a nylon vest for cooling down, but it doesn't evaporate as fast, so you can freeze this one, but it's probably not great the rest of the time. So that's what I'll be doing now. So next we'll be focusing on clothing and then electronics. So here's what I do with the hat box that's on the back of the trunk. This is a hat that I made, a cowboy hat, basically Indiana Jones style. So it's got a nice thing, I hand stitched, did the whole thing, and then I made this hat band. And the hat band is really for cigars, so I can carry cigars around, so I have hoops to carry the cigars, and I can put stubs or cigars with almost like feathers sticking out of my hat. And then I carry all the punching stuff, so you can a cutter and a punch and a nub. And so basically, I will take this on a trip with me, and I might buy another hat while I'm there too, so I can put like 4 or 5 hats in here. But basically, this is going to be a lightweight carry pack, and I might carry some laundry soaps in here, and I also carry sometimes like a pack with some butt wipes or something in it. You know, I gotta say, as you get older, comfort is more important than it used to be, and having some butt wipes, I never probably thought I'd need a butt wipe when I was 20, but at 50 I started needing butt wipes. So, and you know, after you use a bidet, you kind of feel like you need one of those too. But that's kind of the direction it goes, is you know, comfort stuff that you're going to carry with you. So this is my hat box, and that's what I'll take with me. And then I'll just put some locks through here. You know, typically no lock is stopping anybody. If they want to steal your thing or steal your bike, they're going to do it. And there's not much you can do to stop them. But you can slow down the people who are a little bit more scared or easy to run away. I do have a security alarm on my bike. The horn goes off at 130 dBs. So it's a truck horn that I have on there, and it'll fire. So the security alarm will trigger if somebody moves the bike or tries to touch it. I do have a brake lock, so I have a clamp that goes up here. It's a brake lock. And I also have a built-in security alarm that calls me on the phone. So if somebody touches my bike, tries to move it, even just tries to take the seat off to disconnect the battery, all the stuff that's hidden on the bike is battery charged, and it will remain that way for 3 or 4 hours. So it will still travel with the bike. It'll identify GPS, and it will call me on the phone. So I have a phone number for the bike, and I'll get an alarm phone call. So I'll know where it's at all the time. So it tells me the status, and if somebody just cuts it and disconnects it from the battery, it'll also call me. So it's pretty good from that standpoint. I've been pretty happy with it. There's a couple of minor things with it, but it's the best tracker. I probably had 5 trackers on bikes, but it's been the best one so far. So this is what the current setup is before I put this roll bag on here. Okay, so as I'm prepping to put my clothes on, there are these items that I have. These are called Biker's Friend bags, and they are basically a PVC pipe that is covered with leather. And so basically they all kind of look like this. They have straps on the sides, and the leather is expanded over them, and it basically makes them waterproof. They seal. I have not had water get in any of these while I was riding. And so there's at least 4 different sizes that have existed since the original guy isn't around anymore. I don't even know how many there were. And so they have pockets on the ends, and then when you open the end cap, which is kind of hard to do one-handed, when you open the end cap, inside you will see a PVC pipe, and then each end cap has a zipper on the inside, so you have an inside pocket where you can put, I don't know, toiletries or quarters or whatever you're going to do. And then there's an outside pocket, which I put like a chain and locks and things like that in. So basically they unsnap, and then they have a pocket, and you put your outside junk in there. So usually quarters that I'm going to use for a car wash or something like that goes in there. And then they'll strap onto the bottom And they have parts that can come with them also, where you can put on the Velcro pieces and stuff over here. You can put a backrest, so you can have a backrest directly behind you. I don't really use them. I kind of like the round bag. And as you see, I have 4 of these, and I have different sizes. So there's the small, I guess that's medium, large, and extra large. And so basically, this is the one I'm currently using. I have some rock straps to the handles. So even though the straps have never broken, these have been fine, I like to have additional straps just to make sure. So I strap those around the base of the trunk, so that, because it's very sturdy, so I'm going to strap it to that. And then these are my inside pockets. I keep a chain and stuff, so I can run a chain around and lock the bike, lock it to the bike. Again, if somebody wants to steal it, they can cut off the handles and take it away, but I'm just trying to slow down the basics. And then I bought a bag that fits this bag perfectly. So this is a backpack that's made by Matador. And so basically it has compartments. Each one's a flat compartment. So I'm going to try that while I'm practicing. Like I usually roll my clothes, but I'm going to try this compartmentalized item this time to see. It's the exact same size and dimensions of the inside of this barrel. So when I don't do that, I just literally take my jeans and lay them out. Then I lay all my shirts out, underwear and socks, and I roll them. And then I strap them together, and then they just roll right in there. They just fit right in there as a roll. This is probably the bag I've had the longest. This is the one that I bought first. And you can see some of these marks. I was camping one time, and a bear came into the campground, and I had coffee inside this bag. I put some reflectors on there so people can see them. And I had coffee inside the bag. The bear picked up the entire bag in his mouth and ran off into the woods with him. And then he climbed a tree, and then he took it and he started banging it against the tree to get the coffee out. He never did get it open. I scared him away eventually by jiggling some keys at him and stuff, and he ran away. There is a video of this happening. My son videotaped it. He thought it was hilarious, even though the bear could have probably eaten me. But there are some bear teeth marks in the side here somewhere. And again, it's been very durable. No puncture wounds has done anything. It hasn't caused any damage. You can see some teeth marks there. That's where the bear's teeth went in. And he had some teeth on this side. Like I said, there is a video of him doing this on YouTube somewhere. So basically, it looks super durable. It looks like it's going to survive just about anything. And I've been using them for 9 years, 8-9 years now. So this is one of my favorites. Search on eBay and see if you can find it, called the Biker's Friend. And round leather PVC bike bags. But that's what I'm going to pack my clothes in. And then I'll strap it to the back seat and take it off so that my wife can get on when we get to the hotel. And I'm also going to try to take with me the first time an espresso maker. This is one of the first espresso makers I have seen that heats the water. Most of the time, any espresso maker you have to heat the water yourself and then pour it in the top. But this one can do 5 cups of water heated in here. It can heat it itself and then spit it out. And so basically it can take the Nespresso pods. And so I'm going to take a handful of Nespresso pods with me and this espresso maker, and you know, I'll be able to sit by a campfire or something and make myself a espresso, or in the morning in the bedroom or whatever. I'm a real coffee avid person, so I'll take a couple of these creamer pods and some of those pods, and I'll wrap it up. I'm probably going to make a little case for it out of this, because I'm leather handy. So I've made some gloves. I made these half-finger gloves, and I've made these Godzilla gloves out of snapping turtle. And so I'm gonna puncture some holes through here so that I get some perforations, so that it cools off a little bit while I'm riding. But I do get it's not too bad actually so far. But I did design and make these. It took me a while to figure it out, but basically it does look like I'm riding with Godzilla on the back of my hands. There's videos on the internet already of me doing this. So these are my 2 highest end gloves I've made. I've made quite a few pairs at this point, but these are the last ones that I made that are the best ones. So I'm going to try to make a case for the coffee maker out of this. I'm going to make a roll. I did the die on here. I kind of like that. So I'm going to try to make that happen. All right, moving on.